Imagine waking up one morning and realizing your body feels steadier, looser, and more supportive instead of stiff and uncertain. Not because you pushed yourself hard, not because you spent hours exercising, but because you practiced a few quiet movements that taught your muscles how to hold you again. Most people think stretching is about pulling harder or forcing flexibility, especially as we get older. But here's what really happens with age. Muscles don't just shorten. They lose their ability to create tension and stability at the same time. And that loss is what makes joints feel fragile, balance feel unreliable, and movement feel hesitant. That's where isometric stretches come in. They don't ask your body to move more. They ask your body to become stronger where it already is. And that makes all the difference. What's powerful about isometric stretching is that it combines two things older adults need more than anything else: gentle strengthening and safe mobility. Instead of pushing your joints into uncomfortable ranges, you hold a position and let your muscles wake up slowly, teaching your nervous system how to support your body again. This kind of tension is calm, controlled, and deeply therapeutic. It improves posture, balance, joint health, and confidence without impact, without strain, and without fear. And when practiced daily, even for just a few minutes, it changes the way your body feels throughout the entire day. The first isometric stretch that makes an immediate difference is the wall-supported chest and shoulder hold. Imagine standing facing a wall, placing your palms gently against it, and leaning in just enough to feel your chest and shoulders engage. Instead of pushing or bending your elbows, you simply hold that position, breathing slowly. You'll notice the muscles across the front of your chest and the stabilizers around your shoulders begin to activate. This is important because as we age, the shoulders tend to roll forward, collapsing posture and restricting breathing. By holding this gentle tension, you're teaching your upper body how to stay open and supported. Over time, this improves shoulder stability, reduces neck tension, and allows your lungs to expand more freely. Many people notice that standing and walking feel easier afterward, as if the body naturally lifts itself. The second isometric stretch focuses on the thighs and knees, an area that often feels weak or unstable in older adults. Imagine sitting in a chair with your feet flat on the floor and slowly pressing your heels down as if you're trying to slide them backward without actually moving them. You hold that gentle effort, feeling the muscles along the front and back of your thighs engage. This activates the quadriceps and hamstrings without bending or stressing the knee joint. What makes this so effective is that it strengthens the muscles that protect the knees while also improving circulation around the joint. With consistent practice, standing up from a chair feels smoother, walking feels more controlled, and the knees feel supported rather than fragile. The third isometric stretch brings attention to the core and lower back, areas that play a huge role in balance and confidence. Imagine lying on your back with your knees bent and feet on the floor, gently pressing your lower back into the surface beneath you. You're not lifting or twisting, just holding that subtle engagement while breathing slowly. This activates the deep abdominal muscles that stabilize the spine. These muscles often weaken quietly with age, leading to poor posture and lower back discomfort. Holding this position teaches the core how to support you again, reducing strain on the spine and creating a sense of stability that carries into every movement you make throughout the day. The fourth isometric stretch targets the hips, one of the most important areas for fall prevention. Imagine standing beside a chair, placing one hand on it for support, and gently pressing one leg out to the side without lifting it. You're not moving the leg, just creating tension as if you're trying to. You hold that effort and breathe. You'll feel the side of your hip engage, especially the muscles responsible for keeping your pelvis level when you walk. These muscles weaken quickly with age, and when they do, balance suffers. Practicing this daily helps restore lateral stability, making walking feel steadier and reducing the fear of losing balance. The fifth isometric stretch brings everything together through the ankles and calves. Imagine standing tall, holding onto a wall or chair, and gently pressing the balls of your feet into the ground as if you're trying to lift your heels without actually doing it. You hold that tension and breathe. This activates the calves and the small stabilizing muscles around the ankles. These muscles are essential for balance and circulation, yet they're often ignored. Strengthening them through isometric holds improves blood flow, reduces swelling, and sharpens the body's ability to react quickly if you stumble or shift your weight unexpectedly. What makes these 5 isometric stretches so powerful is how calm they feel while working so deeply. There's no rushing, no strain, no pressure to perform, just quiet strength building where your body needs it most. Over time, you'll notice you stand taller, move with more confidence, and feel less tension in places that used to feel tight or weak. These holds retrain your nervous system to trust your body again, which is just as important as strengthening muscles. If you're imagining how these movements might fit into your day, that's exactly the point. You can do them in the morning to wake up your body, in the afternoon to reset stiffness, or in the evening to unwind before bed. Just a few breaths in each position is enough to remind your body how to support itself. And that support changes everything, because aging doesn't have to feel like losing control of your body. Sometimes all it takes is holding still in the right way to feel strong again. Imagine discovering that your body doesn't need to be pushed, stretched, or forced to become stronger again. It just needs to be reminded how to hold itself. That's the real power behind isometric stretches, and it's why they are especially valuable as we get older. Instead of asking your joints to move through ranges that may feel uncomfortable or unsafe, isometric stretches invite your muscles to engage exactly where they are. You're not pulling harder or trying to go further. You're simply creating gentle tension and allowing your body to remember how to support itself. And that kind of strength is what brings stability back into everyday life. As the years pass, many people notice that their bodies don't feel weak in a dramatic way. They feel uncertain. Standing still becomes tiring. Balance feels less automatic. Joints feel fragile even during simple movements. This often isn't because the muscles are completely gone, but because they've lost their ability to hold tension. Muscles are designed not only to move you, but to stabilize you. When that stabilizing function weakens, everything feels less secure. Isometric stretches restore that function by teaching the muscles to contract without changing length, which is exactly what your body needs when you're standing, balancing, or holding a posture. What makes this approach so effective is how it communicates with your nervous system. Every isometric hold sends a clear message to the brain that a certain position is safe and controlled. Over time, the nervous system stops guarding, stops tightening unnecessarily, and allows movement to feel smoother and more confident. This is why people often feel calmer and more grounded after isometric work. The body isn't being startled or rushed. It's being reassured. That reassurance alone can reduce tension, stiffness, and even pain that's been lingering for years. Another reason isometric stretching is so powerful is that it strengthens muscles without stressing joints. Many traditional stretches focus on flexibility alone, which can sometimes make joints feel unstable if the muscles around them aren't strong enough to provide support. Isometric stretches solve this by strengthening and stretching at the same time. As you hold a position, the muscle fibers engage and lengthen gently under control. This builds strength exactly where the joint needs it most. Over time, joints begin to feel more supported, less shaky, and more reliable during daily activities like standing up, turning, or walking. You'll also notice that isometric stretches build awareness in the body. When you hold a gentle contraction, you become more conscious of where your body is in space. This awareness, known as proprioception, plays a huge role in balance and fall prevention. Many falls happen not because of a lack of strength, but because the brain doesn't receive clear signals from the muscles quickly enough. Isometric holds sharpen those signals. They teach the body how to recognize position, tension, and alignment. With consistent practice, balance becomes more automatic and less effortful. One of the most comforting aspects of isometric stretching is how adaptable it is. You can adjust the intensity simply by pressing a little more or a little less. There's no pressure to perform perfectly or reach a certain range. Your body sets the limit, and that makes the practice feel safe and approachable. This sense of safety is crucial, especially if you've experienced pain, injury, or fear of movement in the past. When the body feels safe, it's more willing to let go of tension and accept strength. Isometric stretches also help reverse the effects of prolonged sitting and inactivity. When muscles aren't used regularly, they lose their ability to activate on demand. That's why people often feel stiff after sitting for long periods or hesitant when standing up. Isometric holds wake those muscles up without requiring movement. They restore blood flow, improve muscle tone, and help the body transition between positions more smoothly. Over time, daily movements feel less taxing because the muscles are already engaged and ready. Perhaps the most meaningful change that comes from isometric stretching is the sense of trust it rebuilds between you and your body. When you feel your muscles holding you steadily, your confidence naturally grows. You stop bracing yourself before moving. You stop second guessing your balance. You start moving with intention rather than caution. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but it begins quietly, one gentle hold at a time. These stretches fit easily into your day because they don't demand much space, time, or energy. A few breaths in each position is enough to create a response. Morning, afternoon, or evening, the effect is the same. Your body feels more supported, more stable, more present. And as this practice becomes routine, you'll notice that strength no longer feels like something you chase. It becomes something you carry with you in every step, every posture, and every moment you choose to stand still and let your body do what it was designed to do. The wall-supported chest and shoulder isometric hold may feel subtle at first, but its impact reaches far deeper than most people expect. As the years pass, one of the most common physical changes is the gradual collapse of posture. Shoulders roll forward, the chest tightens, the head drifts slightly ahead of the body, and breathing becomes shallower without us even noticing. This isn't just a cosmetic change. It affects balance, neck comfort, spinal health, and even how confident you feel moving through space. When the upper body collapses forward, the center of gravity shifts, making the body work harder to stay upright. The wall-supported hold gently reverses this pattern by teaching the muscles of the chest, shoulders, and upper back how to engage together without strain. Imagine standing in front of a wall, placing your hands against it, and leaning forward just enough to feel resistance. You're not pushing, you're not bending, you're simply holding. In that stillness, the muscles across your chest begin to activate while the stabilizers around the shoulder blades wake up. These muscles are essential for keeping the shoulders centered in their sockets. When they're weak or inactive, the shoulders slump, the neck tightens, and arm movements feel restricted. Holding this position retrains those muscles to support your upper body again, making everyday movements like reaching, lifting light objects, or even swinging your arms while walking feel easier and more natural. Breathing changes quickly with this hold, and many people notice it almost immediately. As the chest opens and the shoulders stabilize, the ribcage gains more freedom to expand. This allows deeper, calmer breaths without effort. Better breathing doesn't just improve oxygen intake. It also calms the nervous system, reduces tension in the neck and jaw, and supports overall balance. When breathing becomes shallow, the body often stays in a subtle state of stress. This hold encourages the opposite response, telling the body it's safe to relax while staying strong. Another benefit that often goes unnoticed is how much this isometric stretch protects the shoulders from injury. As we age, the shoulder joints become more vulnerable because the muscles that stabilize them weaken faster than the larger muscles that move them. This imbalance can lead to discomfort, clicking, or a feeling of instability. By holding a gentle contraction against the wall, the smaller stabilizing muscles engage without being overwhelmed. Over time, this creates a more secure joint, reducing discomfort and improving confidence when using your arms during daily activities. Posture begins to improve naturally with consistent practice. Instead of forcing yourself to stand up straight, the body learns how to hold itself upright from the inside. The muscles remember their role, and alignment becomes automatic. This is important because a forced posture often leads to tension and fatigue. Supported posture, on the other hand, feels effortless. You may notice that you stand taller without trying, your head feels lighter, and your upper back feels more relaxed throughout the day. What makes this hold especially valuable for older adults is how gentle and adaptable it is. You control the pressure, the distance from the wall, and the duration. Some days you may hold for a few breaths, other days longer. There's no rush, no strain, no discomfort. And yet the muscles are still working. This makes it ideal for daily practice, even on days when energy is low or the body feels stiff. Over time, this simple hold restores a sense of openness and support in the upper body that carries into every movement you make. The seated thigh and knee isometric hold may look simple, but it addresses one of the most important concerns for older adults feeling safe and strong when standing, sitting, and walking. The muscles around the knees often weaken quietly with age, not because the joints themselves fail, but because the muscles that protect them lose strength and coordination. When that happens, the knees begin to feel fragile. Standing up feels heavy. Walking feels cautious. Stairs feel intimidating. The seated isometric hold rebuilds strength in this area without bending the knee or placing stress on the joint, making it one of the safest and most effective ways to restore confidence. Imagine sitting in a chair with your feet flat on the floor, pressing your heels gently downward as if you're trying to pull them back without actually moving them. That quiet effort activates the muscles along the front and back of the thighs at the same time. The quadriceps engage to support the knee from the front, while the hamstrings stabilize from behind. This balanced activation is essential for knee health. Many knee issues arise not from wear and tear alone, but from muscular imbalance. When one side is weak, the joint loses support. Isometric holds correct this by teaching both sides to work together. One of the first things people notice when practicing this hold is how steady their legs feel afterward. There's a sense of groundedness that wasn't there before. This happens because the muscles around the knee begin sending clearer signals to the brain. The nervous system starts trusting the joint again. And when the brain trusts the joint, movement becomes smoother and more confident. You stop hesitating before standing. You stop shifting your weight awkwardly. You begin rising from the chair with more control and less effort. Circulation around the knees also improves with isometric engagement. Holding muscle tension gently increases blood flow without creating inflammation. This helps nourish the joint structures and reduces stiffness, especially after long periods of sitting. Many people find that their knees feel warmer, looser, and more responsive after just a few holds. Over time, this can make a noticeable difference in how the knees feel throughout the day, particularly in the morning or after rest. Another important aspect of this isometric stretch is how it builds strength without fatigue. Traditional leg exercises can be intimidating or exhausting for older adults, especially if there's fear of pain or injury. This hold removes that barrier. You're not lifting your body weight. You're not moving through a range that feels uncomfortable. You're simply activating muscles in a controlled, supported position. That makes it easier to practice consistently, and consistency is what creates lasting change. Balance improves as well, even though you're seated. Stronger thigh muscles help control the knee during standing and walking, reducing wobbling and instability. This translates into better alignment when you're on your feet. Each step feels more deliberate and secure. Over time, the knees stop feeling like a weak point and start feeling like a stable connection between the hips and the ground. There's also a psychological benefit that shouldn't be overlooked. When standing up becomes easier, independence feels closer. You stop worrying about low chairs. You stop planning movements around discomfort. You begin trusting your legs again. This sense of trust changes how you move, how you walk, and how you approach daily tasks. And all of it begins with a quiet hold done while sitting, teaching the muscles around your knees how to support you again. The isometric engagement of the core and lower back is one of the most important practices for restoring balance and confidence as we age, yet it's often misunderstood or overlooked. Many people think core strength comes from movement-based exercises like sit-ups or twists, but in reality, the deepest core muscles are designed to work quietly, holding the spine steady while the rest of the body moves. When these muscles weaken, the body loses its internal support system. Posture collapses, balance feels uncertain, and the lower back begins to ache because it's carrying more load than it should. Isometric core engagement restores this support by teaching the body how to stabilize itself without strain. Imagine lying on your back with your knees bent and feet resting comfortably on the floor. Instead of lifting or twisting, you gently press your lower back into the surface beneath you and hold that position. There's no visible movement, yet inside, something important is happening. The deep abdominal muscles begin to activate, especially those responsible for bracing the spine and controlling posture. These muscles work like a natural corset, wrapping around the torso and providing stability from the inside out. When they're engaged, the spine feels supported instead of compressed, and the body feels centered rather than tense. One of the most immediate benefits of this isometric hold is relief from lower back discomfort. Much of the tension people feel in their backs comes from instability, not weakness. When the core isn't doing its job, the muscles along the spine tighten defensively to protect it. This constant tension leads to stiffness, soreness, and fatigue. By gently engaging the deep core muscles, you allow the spine to relax because it's no longer carrying the load alone. Over time, the back feels less guarded and more at ease, especially during standing and walking. Balance improves significantly with this practice because the core plays a central role in keeping the body upright. Every time you shift your weight, take a step, or change direction, the core must respond instantly to keep you stable. When these muscles are weak or unresponsive, balance reactions slow down. Isometric engagement sharpens those responses. It teaches the nervous system how to activate the core quickly and efficiently, improving your ability to stay steady during daily movements. Many people notice that they feel more grounded after practicing this, even though they haven't moved at all. This type of isometric hold also improves posture in a natural way. Instead of forcing yourself to stand up straight, the body learns how to support itself from the center. The spine stacks more easily, the shoulders settle into a more relaxed position, and the head feels lighter. Good posture becomes something you feel rather than something you consciously try to maintain. This reduces fatigue and makes it easier to stay upright throughout the day without discomfort. Another important benefit is how this practice reconnects you with your body. Because the movement is subtle, it encourages awareness. You begin noticing how your pelvis tilts, how your ribs move with your breath, and how your spine responds to support. This awareness carries into other movements, helping you move more deliberately and safely. When you're aware of your core, you're less likely to move in ways that strain your back or throw off your balance. This isometric engagement is also incredibly adaptable. You can hold it for just a few breaths or longer if it feels comfortable. You can practice it in the morning to wake up your body, during the day to reset tension, or in the evening to unwind. There's no pressure to perform or push. The goal is simply to remind your body how to support itself. And that reminder, repeated daily, can transform how stable and confident you feel in your movements. The isometric holds for the hips and ankles bring everything together because these areas form the foundation of balance and movement. The hips control lateral stability, while the ankles manage contact with the ground. When either area is weak or unresponsive, the entire body compensates. Steps feel uncertain, balance reactions slow down, and fear of falling begins to influence how you move. Isometric holds strengthen these systems quietly and safely, teaching the body how to stay stable without relying on momentum or excessive effort. Imagine standing beside a chair, one hand resting on it for support. You gently press one leg out to the side without lifting it, creating tension in the side of the hip. You're not moving, just holding. This activates the muscles responsible for keeping your pelvis level when you stand or walk. These muscles weaken quickly with age, and when they do, the hips sway and balance suffers. Holding this position retrains those muscles to engage automatically, improving lateral stability and reducing the risk of losing balance when shifting weight or changing direction. At the same time, isometric ankle holds address another critical piece of balance. By pressing the balls of your feet gently into the ground without lifting your heels, you activate the calves and the small stabilizing muscles around the ankles. These muscles act as the body's first responders when balance is challenged. They react to changes in surface, shifts in weight, and unexpected movements. When they're weak, reactions slow down. When they're strong, the body adjusts quickly and efficiently. Isometric holds sharpen these reactions without stressing the joints. Improved circulation is another benefit that often surprises people. Holding gentle tension in the calves helps pump blood back toward the heart, reducing swelling and heaviness in the legs. This makes standing and walking feel easier, especially after long periods of sitting. Better circulation also supports muscle health and recovery, making the legs feel more energized throughout the day. What makes these isometric holds so effective is how they improve coordination between the hips and ankles. Balance isn't controlled by one muscle or joint. It's a system. The hips stabilize the body's center, while the ankles adjust to the ground beneath you. Training them together through isometric holds strengthens this system as a whole. You begin to feel more secure on uneven surfaces, more confident turning or stepping sideways, and more stable during everyday activities. There's also a strong psychological effect. As the hips and ankles become more responsive, fear of falling begins to fade. You stop bracing your body unnecessarily. You stop avoiding certain movements. You begin trusting your steps again. That trust changes how you move through the world. You walk with more ease, stand with more confidence, and feel less restricted by your body. These holds don't demand much time or effort, which makes them easy to practice daily. A few breaths on each side is enough to remind your body how to stabilize itself. And as this practice becomes routine, the benefits accumulate quietly. Balance improves. Movement feels safer, confidence grows, all without forcing your body, rushing movement, or placing stress on vulnerable joints, allowing strength and stability to return in a calm, controlled, and sustainable way